Let's start here. Hello everybody, Sean Weed here in the 1011 Now streaming studios, where we are doing some continuous coverage of a story you may have heard from yesterday, done by Madison Pitch and Madison. We just want to kind of give folks a little bit of an overview of your story, what you've learned, and now we have some new information, some more in-depth information about the couple, the cat, and the whole story. So, Madison, just give us a brief overview of your story about this cat and this Valentine's Day bouquet that you gave yesterday.
So I think the best way to look at it is a timeline. So Tommy Denton purchased the Valentine's bouquet for his wife on February 13th. And by that Friday, which is the 17th, according to my notes, their cat Mia started acting strange. She wasn't being active like she normally was. She didn't meet Tommy at the door every morning when he woke up. So she was just acting different. They didn't notice anything about it. They later said they would find some of her vomit, which she did in private, so they didn't know that she was vomiting. And then on the next Monday, so February 20th, a week from when they purchased the bouquet, she started seizing. They brought her into the hospital in Lincoln, and they were doing blood work on her. They were saying one of her kidneys was really small, really shrunken down, and they said it could be a birth defect or it could be flowers. Did you have any lilies in your home? And the bouquet that he bought her on February 13th did have lilies. He had one originally that was just roses, and then he picked one up with roses and lilies because he thought it would be prettier. The next day, February 21st, Mia was dead. She wasn't breathing on her own. Yeah. So it was
so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
For a day meant
Yes.
for love and loving the things around you and your animals, your fur babies, and each other.
Yeah.
This is a
The
tragic
couple
story.
said they don't have any children together, so their dog and their cat, Hootie and Mia, are really kind of their children, you know? So for everything to just happen so quickly and then to not have any kind of warning sign really other than your pet just acting strange it was really, it was an emotional interview, I think, for them and for myself as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is just something you don't normally hear. You hear of poinsettias during the Christmas season being poisonous for animals, but talk a little bit about the flowers. What have you learned about the flowers themselves? What poisoned, what from the flowers, or did the flower itself poison the cat?
Right, so I had no idea that lilies could be poisonous at all. I think everybody knows about poinsettias, but I don't think anybody knows about lilies. So when talking with the vet yesterday, I learned it is any part of the flower. It is the petal if they eat it. It is the leaf. It's the stem. It's the water they're kept in. It's the pollen. So the vet that they took their cat to originally, it was not the vet I talked to yesterday, but the vet they took Mia to when they came into the hospital in Lincoln said it could take even just a brush by the flower. And the pollen is on their coat, and if they groom themselves, they've ingested the pollen.
So this is a lily that we're looking at right here. I paused the video so folks can see, and we were talking about, again, any bit of that flower is potentially poisonous to the animal. But then many don't know this, and sometimes they come clipped if the lily has bloomed, because first of all, these little orange and yellow sacs you see there at the end is the pollen.
Right.
And a lot of times that pollen will stain your hands, so that's why florists will clip those off. But again, that is the one thing that transmit or will fall off or whatever else. I mean, it's just amazing. It's not amazing, but it's weird how these flowers fall apart in a sense as they end their life cycle.
Yes, yeah.
And once it's on the ground, an animal, a dog, a cat, they can just lick it up, pick it up, you know, because it's there. I mean, generally our animals, what does a dog do? It eats something off the floor.
I'm actually really happy you said that, because I asked if they still had the bouquet that had killed Mia, and they brought it out, and this is it, you know, 2 weeks after. So it is obviously still falling apart, and it's obviously still got some life left in it.
Wow.
I think what was interesting is even as we were doing the interview, a leaf fell off of the lily and fell onto the table. So it is just, it's almost unbelievable how dangerous it can be and
Right. And so this
how
is the cat
long-lasting
here?
that could be. Yes, that is Mia. She was half bobtail, half Maine Coon. They said she was almost as big as their dog, who I don't remember the exact what their dog was, but
Wow, this is
Yeah.
a crazy story. Now, you were talking about the dog and how the dog and the cat are basically best friends.
yeah, they're besties for sure. So their dog is named Hootie, like Hootie and the Blowfish. You can see right there, they're about the same size, and they were best friends in every sense. They would play together. She would wait for him when he would go outside. They said the dog is really having a hard time with it because he will go and look at where he will go and look for where the cat would be. And he's just not seeing her. And I think it's been hard on the Dentons, but it's also been hard on Hootie.
Wow,
Yeah.
poor Hootie.
I know, it
Or
was
the
really
Nintons,
sad.
as you said,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, did you have a chance to talk to a veterinarian?
I did, yeah.
What is the advice from veterinarians and experts if you believe your cat or dog may have been poisoned by a plant?
Yeah, he called it a race against time. So as soon as you know, obviously the first best step you could do is not have a plant or a flower that's poisonous. But if you're like the Dentons and you just didn't know, the best thing you can do once you notice they start acting strange. So they didn't see Mia vomiting, but if they had seen it, the best thing they could do is get her in, because then they can kind of flush the toxins and the poisons out of their system.
Right.
But if you don't know, those toxins can stay in there, and like Mia, they can cause a kind of shrunken kidney. So, and they said they don't know exactly how the lily poisons the cat. They really don't have an idea of how that works, but they do know that it attacks their kidneys. Yes. And it can just, if they eat a petal or a leaf, they can start experiencing symptoms in 3 to 4 hours.
I've had cats, I've had
Yeah.
dogs, I've had a ferret, I've had many birds, and I've never heard of anything like this except for the poinsettias. So now, where can someone go to find out more about the plants that they are getting or they have to see if they're poisonous? Do you know where someone
I
can
don't
go?
know. I just did a quick Google search yesterday. Lisa Denton had a list of things that are toxic to cats, and I can read that off for you if
Please,
you'd
yes.
like. So we've got lilies, chocolate, anti-inflammatory medications. This one was surprising to me. Onions and garlic are
Really?
toxic to cats. Yeah.
Wow, I did
Yeah.
not know that.
I didn't know that either. Obviously, mouse and rat poisons, household cleaners, antidepressants, vitamin D overdoses, stimulant medication for like ADD or ADHD, but also essential oils.
Okay. Now, I'm curious about the essential oils, though, because if it's the essential oils and you have that going in your home,
Yeah.
is it the breathing in of the essential oils? I'll have to look that one
yeah,
up on
I don't know
Google.
that for sure, but think of how many people have essential oils in their home and have cats or have pets.
So
Yeah.
be aware. That's the reason we came on today, is be aware of the plants that you're getting, obviously, for the one you love,
Mm-hmm.
for Valentine's Day. Now, Valentine's Day is obviously past, but hopefully, gentlemen, you're purchasing flowers for your significant other more often than just Valentine's Day.
Well, and this is actually really good with Easter coming up because
Yes.
lilies are a huge flower for Easter. So they say if you're going to get lilies, if you have lilies and you have a pet in the home, put them in a place where they can't reach them. And obviously with cats, that's difficult because they can climb and, they can reach places that you think they can't. So first best step is to not get it. Second best step is to keep it away from where they can get to it.
Right. All right. So again, more information can be found on our website. That's 1011now.com. You can see the full story. And of course, if you guys have any questions about the plants that you have, Google it. Google it is the main thing, because you don't want this to be a story that you have to live through.
I also think another really interesting thing that I should have mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
They called the florists and they asked the florists, did you know that these were toxic to cats? And they had no idea. And the florists were really devastated too.
boy.
So they actually, I've heard, put up a sign in their window to warn people that lilies can be toxic
Oh,
to
that's
cats.
great. So
Yeah.
hopefully more florists can do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that'd be great advice for other florists to put up that information because, yeah, you don't want this to happen to anybody else. That's for sure. All right, Madison, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And as I said earlier, you can find out more on Madison's story by going to our website, 1011now.com, and be informed. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
Informing people. And now with this new technology, we're going to be doing a little bit more in-depth. Bill Rensler, he's going to be up here. I'm going to be up here helping out too. But we're going to do more of these one-on-ones where we kind of go more in-depth on a story and talk about it because we can put a whole bunch of information into a minute and a half, but there's so much more
Yeah.
than that minute and a half. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
of
Again, go to
course.
1011.com for more details. I'm Sean Wheat. You guys have a great day. And as news breaks out, we break in.